Here we go. Wait, actually, hold on. First of all, I want to talk about something here. So, I got these glasses. Got them while I was in England. It was in this like little store. It was like some like Dutch store. I don't know, where you like weave in these little short aisles. And I picked these bad boys up, and I'm actually fascinated by them because it like changes your vision to a 90-degree angle, which is like a game changer. Why do you look like that?
Why do you look like that? Why are you wearing them? They can see what they do.
Not everyone knows. There you are. Not everyone knows. Okay? Basically, the point is that you can read on your back while you're lying down, so you don't like crank your neck. Do you know what I mean? So you can like read in bed. Anyways, I thought they were fascinating, and I really wanted to share this with you guys because I thought, you know what? If any of you are as strange as I am, or just lazy, then these might be the glasses for you. I'm sure I can find them on. Hold on, let's do a brief search. I think I can find them on Amazon.
Oh my god.
Do I look stupid?
Yes.
Hey! The lack of hesitation. You know what? All right, listen. So I am not sponsored to tell you about these. I just think they're fucking weird but brilliant. Brilliant. So I will link some. I will link them. Okay, so I just want to start out by saying we got a lot of questions, and I want to thank you guys for that. Hi Reggie, I was actually kind of shocked.
Yeah, you got a lot of questions.
Yeah, listen, I gotta be honest with you. I was very,
It just keeps going.
I know, I was very impressed, and also, I don't know what the word for it is. Excited, happy that so many of you actually want to know like what's going on in our lives. I don't know, I think that's really cool, and I really appreciate that. So thank you guys for taking the time to write these down. First question.
So this one is from Linda Royal. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up? I'm assuming this is for you. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up? You have a great personality, witty, and come up with the funniest shit. You're actually a natural at it.
No, I have not thought about being a stand-up comic, but I could be if it was just Tim sitting in a chair and me with a microphone. Just dragging you.
Just dragging it out.
Just dragging you for no reason.
Next one. How did you guys meet?
End of the video.
This
Whoa.
one is interesting though, because it says assuming since you're a bartender met on the job. No.
The answer is no.
No.
I could understand why people would make that assumption because
Yeah.
that would be a natural conclusion to draw.
No.
That being said, absolutely
No.
not.
I've been to the bar that she works at maybe twice, 3 times.
Maybe. We didn't meet at the bar.
No, we did not meet at the bar. How long have you been together? 2 years.
And some change.
Are both dogs Tim's? Yes.
No. Absolutely not.
Do you work
Hold
full-
on. No.
What?
Reggie's mine. The little white one is mine.
Yes. Kirby is mine, and Reggie is Rose's.
Yes.
Do you work full time?
Yes, both of us do. Bartend part-time, and then I do YouTube almost full-time. I don't think that people are aware of how much time it actually takes into doing YouTube videos. I mean, that's a full-time job in and of itself, and then you add. I will do a full-time, like a full day. Like I will do like 9, 10 in the morning on YouTube till like 6 p.m. when Tim gets home. And then I'll show up to work at 9 p.m. and then I get home at 4 in the morning from bartending. So it's full-time. It's a lot of work.
What kind of work does Tim do? I am a professional cougar wrangler.
Yes.
To answer the inevitable next question, yes. All right, next one.
Do you want to tell them your actual job?
Okay, so I'm actually a software engineer. I work for a company, and I also co-own my own video game development studio. So I have 2 full-time jobs, just like Rose does. One is I work for another company, and one is I work for my own company, and we make video games. Does he work from home? The video game company is from home.
And 1 day a week is work from home for your
Yeah.
other software engineer job.
Next question. Are you guys from California?
Yes.
No.
I am from Southern California, born and raised. I'm not from Los Angeles.
I am from St. Louis, Missouri. Last question from Linda is, how far away are you from the horrific fires that are happening?
Not far.
Not terribly far.
Not far. There was a couple that sparked that were down the road,
Yeah.
like 2 miles away, something like that. We were right within the evacuation. We kept getting evacuation warnings, and
Yeah.
it was like watching the maps to see if it was gonna get us.
Yeah. We luckily didn't have to, but there were some
There were some close calls.
there were some late nights of watching maps and
Yeah.
listening to your phone go off with different warnings and alarms and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, next one is from, and I'm sorry if I butcher these names. Emendi. Emendi? I'm sorry. Is there any concern that whoever owns the apartment after you and Tim will be met with their own version of, why the would you do that? Yes.
Specifically with the cabinets.
I think about that too.
Yeah.
I love the cabinets. I do. But I feel like some people, hopefully the next person that lives here, they are dog people.
Yeah.
Because we did build dog boxes into
the
the sides.
Yeah. The next one is from
Sendress 60.
What does Tim do for work?
Cougar Wrangler.
Cougar Wrangler. What is your long-term plan with the condo? So I bought this condo in 2020, and I got a pretty great interest rate on it. So I'd rather not sell it, but honestly, I don't.
We kind of go back and forth, especially in LA. One of the things that's really weird about living here, because again, I'm not from here, is the fact that like I know so many people that just casually like didn't pay their rent for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they're protected. Like you can't evict them technically, or like you can't cause any actions to get them to leave, even though they're not paying. It's like a whole thing. So
Yeah,
I'm a little like on the fence about that.
It's pretty complicated, and I don't know too much about it because obviously we live here, so there's no point in renting it out now. And with COVID and everything, like the laws keep changing and whatever. So, long story short, I don't think there really is a long-term plan.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
it's just
don't
kind of
know.
like play it by ear.
Caddis Lavandula. Does Tim have any household skills? Is he handy at all? Tim actually has a lot of household skills. He is very handy. He is very smart. Don't let the videos deceive you. He's a very, very intelligent person. And he does have a lot of handy skills. He is very technologically intelligent. So like anything that's broken, I'm like, and he just like, I'll fix it just immediately. So he has household skills. Fixing everything that I break. Okay, Christine, J4R2M. 2 dog questions. What kind of dog is Reggie, and why is Kirby so fluffy?
So Kirby is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and he has the fluffy gene. So the fluffy gene it's seen as a genetic defect in the breed. You can't show him, you can't breed him, it's not breed standard and all that. So he just got the recessive genes and came out fluffy.
Reggie, he is a Muppet. No, I did have to do genetic testing on him. He is Schnauzer and Silky Terrier. He's a Muppet.
He's a Muppet. All right, this one is from Vicky9298.
I want to know how you guys met. We'll answer that at the end too.
Shirley Gingrich?
I like that name. That's cute.
Shirley Gingrich, 5148. What is Tim's favorite renovation you have made thus far?
You know what? I'm so glad somebody mentioned this. I would love to know that, Tim.
It's the kitchen cabinets and the lights, the LED lights underneath it. The beforehand, because it's like it's the center of the condo. It's the farthest from any natural light,
yeah,
so it's
dark.
always, and it's kind of got walls around it, the like half walls around it, so it's always dark in there. And before she painted it, it was like brown and like it just was dark.
Yeah, and there was like really dim orange lights.
Yeah, and it just didn't really. Now that it's white and it's bright, it just feels better. I like it. Honestly, it's my favorite thing you've done.
Lisa Mound 3520.
I swear you and Tim are a match made in heaven. You are perfect together. Oh, thanks. I don't know who is the funniest. I can see why you love him. There is something about him that is irresistible. Oh.
That's not a question, Tim.
Watchtower 1014. Here we go. Rapid fire. Do you like to walk on the beach at twilight?
No.
Are you reading any books in the chair in your bedroom? If so, what?
Yes, I'm reading What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty.
Do you cut Tim's hair?
No.
No. Are there habits you wish your partner would stop?
Yes.
Yes. Whose dog is whose? Kirby is mine.
Reggie's mine.
Yes. What about the wallpaper that got wrecked?
Listen, that's a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know how I'm going to fix it.
How did you meet?
Waiting for the end for that one?
TBD. Who drives when you're together? I always usually
No,
do.
that's such a load of I drive.
You rarely drive. When we're together, even if we're in your car, more times than not I'm driving.
No.
Yes.
No. Hey, I drive a lot. Listen, We usually take my car because for some reason, Tim thought it would be a good idea to get a stick shift and a 2-door, by the way. It only has 2 doors.
Yes, it's the biggest theft deterrent. The
'Cause
car
it's
doesn't get stolen because nobody knows how to drive it.
Like, no one can drive it, including your girlfriend who doesn't know how to drive stick.
You do know how to drive stick.
No, I
taught you. You drove stick in a commercial.
Listen, I stalled out that car several times.
Which was that was what your job was in the commercial.
Yeah, well, listen, they hired the perfect person to stall out a car because it was me.
Yeah, and you did a great job. All right, what is Tim's job? I'm the door greeter at Uncle Touchy's Naked Puzzle Basement. Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yes. Does it show?
How about hobbies? I like to read. I like to play video games. I really love my jobs.
I like to read. I like to embroider, which I haven't done a lot of recently. And honestly, because of the nature of the fact that I have ADHD, I will just find something random that I like and I latch onto it and then I like get really into it and then I forget about it 2 weeks later. So ask me about my hobbies next week. They will probably be different.
I can vouch for that.
I love these glasses.
Why doesn't Tim wear a gold necklace?
You know, I'm so glad that that was brought up because I have been trying to get him to wear a giant gold, with the initials TR. Or no, you know what?
TR? What's TR?
Tim and Rose.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, actually, one of our friends, Stephanie, says she has always said that our ship name is Toes because of Tim and Rose, and I love that. I think it's funny. So you should just get a big chain, like huge, like
just
this
says
big.
Toes on it.
It just says Toes.
It just has a foot on it with with toes.
Yeah.
Nobody would get it, but everybody
No.
like, why do you? Who pays the bills?
So Tim does pay the bills. But I have to set aside what I would pay in rent, but I take that money and I just put it aside into a separate account so that we can save for a down payment on a larger house. But as far as paying like the actual bills, that's Tim.
Do you like sardines?
Never had them.
Do you stay up late? Yes.
Yeah, I have to because of my job.
Yeah. Do you have neighbors in for dinner?
No.
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 When watching TV, does Tim rub your feet with lotion?
You know, I'm so glad that this was also brought up because no, never. But I'm begging him, just absolutely pleading to just hold my toes with his hands like you would that because I have really long toes and it's kind of weird.
She has tingers.
They look like hands.
She has
Don't
tingers.
look at my feet.
Do you have pet names for each other? Yes.
I would say I really like to call Tim my shoddy. And damn, you're really wearing that sweater like you're doing it a favor. That's another.
What?
That's my other pet name for Tim.
Are you going to wallpaper any of your ceiling?
Wasn't planning on it, but I have seen some stuff online where you can do like a tin ceiling. It basically mimics like the Empire State Building, something like that. It's actually really cool. I don't think I'm gonna do that in this place though.
What are your favorite foods?
Pho. I love pho so much.
Pizza and cookies. I'm an 8-year-old. Does Tim ever pick you up and carry you?
Sometimes.
Yes. What do you like most about each other?
This is actually kind of a sweet question.
I would say your sense of humor.
Yeah, same. I would say Tim's sense of humor. There's a lot of things that I love about you.
Yeah.
But I think that the thing that drew me to you immediately was your sense of humor. I always thought you were funny.
Thank you. You're the only one, sweetie. What do you do about cooking odors?
Embrace them.
Where are the dirty turtles? They're on the deck.
Let
We
me
actually
show
got
you.
this question a lot because
Yeah,
everybody
everyone-
wants to know where the turtles are. They're fine.
Yes.
They're on the deck. We upgraded them into a very large tank.
Yes. Everyone's concerned about Tim's turtles and worrying if we got rid of them. And the answer is no.
Nope.
No,
We
we did
still
not
have them.
get rid of them. They did need to upgrade to a larger tank because they got
Yeah.
significantly larger.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
fully pimped out tank. It's got 2 heaters in there. It's constantly warm. We've got a temperature gauge in there. They've got a basker where they can sit.
Crawl on. They got lights
They
on the top. They
they
got
lights. They get
a
toys.
big filter now.
Do you eat at the table, couch, bed, computer, all of the above?
Especially when you don't have kitchen chairs at work.
Hey,
you kind
that-
of
listen,
find
that
different places to
didn't
eat, like
happen.
a couch, your desk, the floor.
I don't know
the
what
toilet
you're talking
sometimes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How often do you walk the doggies?
Every couple hours. They
Yeah.
get long walks. SRM 2025, your relationship, all of the tea. Love that. Where you both grew up. We answered Southern California. Missouri.
Louis.
Your puppers, how they became yours. Reggie is a rescue. I moved to Los Angeles at the end of 2021, and I have had dogs my entire life. And then finally, I moved out here thinking that I would, for some reason, be okay. And I was like, no, it'll be fine. Like, I'll go home and visit like my parents' dog and it's gonna be fine. And I legitimately lasted about 3 weeks. And now I'm not an overly emotional person, but the second that like I saw any dog on the street, I'd start crying. I remember walking with Andrea and just like someone would be walking their dog and I was like I'd start tearing up. I was so upset that I didn't have a dog. I was like sitting, I was on the rescue sites, like all of them in like the greater Los Angeles County, which there's a lot. And I was just hitting refresh over and over. I had like tabs of them. And I was just switching between tabs, hitting refresh. Because there was no dogs, which is a good thing because it was post-COVID. So they were just like, the shelters were wiped clean, which again is a good thing, but was very terrible for me. And I just kept hitting refresh. And then finally, I was on the San Bernardino County website, which is, my mom told me to look at that one because unfortunately what happens a lot in San Bernardino is people, for some reason, when they don't want their dogs, they drop them off and let them die in the desert because they don't want to turn them into a shelter or do anything. It's really awful.
So San Bernardino's,
their kill rates are really high.
a lot of people ditch their dogs in San Bernardino.
It's really sad. So that was actually one of the first places that I looked, and that's where I got Reggie from. They found him meandering around some apartment buildings, like in the parking lot, which is fitting. He was not chipped, didn't have a collar. A cop found him and turned him in, and I was crying, hitting the refresh page, and I saw his little picture showed up, didn't even have a name, he just had a number, and I was like, that one. And then I adopted him. He wanted nothing to do with me.
No, you stole him.
I did. I did.
Kidnapped him. Went home for Christmas one year and I was talking to a relative of mine. I was like, I think I'm kind of thinking about getting a dog. Anyway, that relative, so she knows a bunch of breeders that are like AKC registered and all that other stuff. And so then she hooked me up with a friend of hers and who was a corgi breeder. And because Kirby is fluffy, obviously you can't show him, you can't breed him, you can't, you know what I mean? And my relative was like, well, Tim's looking for a dog. We got in contact, we touched base, and that's how I ended up with Kirkster. How do you get quality time with your work hours if you mentioned you work into the wee hours?
That's actually a really good question. I feel like a lot of times it's sort of Tim and I stealing time.
Yeah.
We spend quite a bit of time together sort of passively, where like I'm sitting right next to him. Sometimes I'll be like holding your hand or something and like I'm editing and he's doing programming or whatever it is, just to get time in together. A lot of it is sacrifice of like shifting sleep schedules.
It's very particular time management.
Yeah,
That's how we make it work. What made you want to do a YouTube channel? So glad you have.
I woke up one day and chose violence. A multitude of reasons, and in no particular order. I hate my job. To be completely honest with you, I felt like bartending and anything else that I could think of to do felt so monotonous and so boring, and I wanted to off myself at the thought of like devoting my life to someone else especially that I don't give a about. You know what I mean?
You talking about me?
No, I'm talking about like owners of like different companies. Now can you see me? I can see your eyes.
Yeah, right.
I knew that I wanted a creative job, and I knew that I wanted the freedom and flexibility to do whatever I wanted. I was like, you know what? I like the idea of just being like, F it. If I want to film me doing this, then I'm going to film myself doing this. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be scripted or anything. Fun fact, none of my videos are scripted. Nothing.
No planning.
Is scripted. There is no planning, which is why a lot of them go to But yeah, I wanted freedom, and I wanted to have creativity, and I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do. And that's how I landed on that. Where do you see yourselves in 5 years? With a lot of ducks, hopefully. Keep player cards right.
Hopefully we are probably having in a house. with a yard.
I want to be doing this full-time, my full-time job.
Yeah. Your turtles. I see they are clean and then green tank. Is that okay for them and the shavings from your woodwork? I know nothing about turtles.
So luckily, the shavings actually, because of where the turtle tank is located, do not get in the tank.
Yeah.
So that's not a concern.
Yeah.
But
there's a little bit every once in a while that get in there, but there's a really powerful filter in there and it just filters it out and catches it all.
yeah, the whole clean then green tank thing. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, and I did not know this when I rescued these turtles, gifted them to Tim, they are some of the most disgusting animals on this planet. I love them. I love the turtles. They're super cute. That being said, they are the
Really?
dirtiest. So going from super clean to green within the same video happens in the span of a couple of days. I would say that's even with a powerful filter. I've considered maybe incorporating plants or something like that to filter it even more because it is unbelievable. It's not like we just leave the tank for weeks on end. That's within the week.
Yeah.
Have you sorted everything with the upstairs neighbors and their water issue into your home? No.
Kind of. Repairing that, no. But the actual fixing the leaks and then getting the ceiling done and fixed and because there was the leak and then there was another leak and then there was, as the ladies were cleaning it, there was a hole in the wall and so water would then fall down again. We had to have a
there
plumber.
was multiple. There was this one and then there was in the bathroom.
Yeah. So there's no more water falling into the apartment.
Yes.
Ceiling in the bathroom has been patched. Now the only issue to take care of is the water damage on this wall.
Yeah. Are you wishing you didn't ask for questions now? No. I think
No,
it's
this
very
is actually
sweet.
pretty fun.
R.E.B. Holla, 9820. How did you and Tim meet? Tell us your love story, please. We'll tell you at the end. What is your dream aesthetic for your place? Do you have any design inspiration you use for your projects? Personally, I really like a cottagey countryside. That's sort of my dream. I want something really sort of low maintenance, and I want the little runner ducks in the garden.
Yeah.
That's sort of the dream. As far as design inspiration for my projects, yes. I feel like I doubt myself a lot, and that's why I go in and change things pretty often. There's some things in here that I think I'm gonna end up changing, like the curtains. But I usually go on Pinterest. I go on Pinterest for trying to justify color palettes or get inspiration for things because I feel like otherwise I'm a little too scatterbrained. But sometimes it's just gut feeling, or I'm like, oh, that's pretty.
A lot of Pinterest.
Oh, would you ever do an Architectural Digest inspired house tour or a Vogue 73 Questions with Rose Renovations? Actually, I think that this is a great idea, and I think that it would be Architectural Digest.
No, what's a Vogue 73 Questions?
Oh, so Vogue, the magazine,
Yeah.
has these things where they go into celebrities' homes and they ask them 73 questions.
Why 73?
I don't know, it's just some random number. I don't know, but for some reason it's what they do. And so basically it's sort of even though they're asking about their career and their life and all that stuff, it sort of ends up turning into we get to see their house most of the time.
Okay.
So that's the idea I think that they're going for with
okay.
this. I think actually that would be really fun. Knowing myself, it would not be serious. It wouldn't be it's not going to be as put together and as pretty as Margot Robbie or Emma Stone or whoever else has been on there. It would be something stupid. It would be walking through and I'd be welcome to my home. There's this water stain here that the neighbors didn't fix. Oh yeah. I don't know. It would all be a joke.
Between you and Tim, who would be Kirby and who would be Reggie? I'm definitely Reggie and you're definitely Kirby.
Yeah. Kirby's super social. Reggie is very introverted. He's a quiet little guy.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the channel in 2025 and beyond? I would love to do this full time. I would love to. It would by not working my other job, it would free up so much time, not only just in my personal life, but also from a creative perspective on my channel. I'm hoping that it would mean possibly longer videos, because the way that I'm doing it now, it legitimately is just what I can get done. And so if I'm doing this full time, it completely opens up the ability to...
You could do bigger projects, you could do longer projects, you can just really being able to sink your teeth into it based on that.
Yeah.
All right, this one's from Lori Asher. How long have you and Tim been together? And is there any home reno project that you absolutely would not attempt? So we already answered the 2 and change years.
Yes. I actually really like this question.
Yeah.
This is really good. Home rental projects you would not attempt. Absolutely. There are several, actually. There are some things that even I would not attempt to up.
I wouldn't do anything with like hardcore plumbing.
I wouldn't do anything that was like intense electrical work.
Yeah.
So like if I had to rewire walls, no, you lose
Yeah.
me.
If I remember like redoing pipes, no, like I can put a faucet on or like
Yeah, I've done
change a
shower
sink
heads.
or something like that, but like getting into the pipes, into the walls or stuff like that, no. Or the electric, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Anything where like I could burn the house down or like
Yeah. If I have to know the codes, like this isn't up to code
Yeah.
or anything like that, then I'm at least for me. Like you might be different, but that's
Yeah.
where I tap out.
Yeah, that's where I tap out. Except for one thing, I do want to reface that fireplace over there.
Oh yeah.
That is something I've been really itching to do, and I do have to know fire codes for that
Yeah.
because we do live in California. Emeline Cox. Any projects for the doggos soon? Thought I saw them walk by with their own tool belts on. Isn't that cute?
We should get them tool belts.
We should. Other than the fact that they participate in all of them.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any dog specific project.
Yeah, I don't know. Not right now that I can think of.
Carol Van Tonder. Are you going to do a remake of The Balcony? Is the turtle still there? Yes, the turtles are still there. As for The Balcony,
I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to redo the balcony.
I'd like to do something with it. Right now it's kind of a work area.
Yeah, so I don't want to screw with it now because it's going to get screwed up anytime
Yeah.
I do like
Well,
a
like put
woodworking
some like
project.
nice planter boxes, or put like Reggie likes to sunbathe,
Oh, he
so
loves
maybe
it.
like a place for him to sunbathe, or something for the dogs out there, or something for the plants. Something I don't know really
Yeah.
what, but yeah, I would like to do something with the balcony. But I don't know
I would
what yet.
too.
Uh,
HBSV mom. She's really sweet.
HBSV mama,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I mean I see her comments all the time.
Oh.
She's great. Here's the thing is that there are certain people that I see that comment all the time, and so I'm like, I see you. I know who you are, and they're great.
I see you, HBSV mom.
Yeah. There have been some that we've already gone over where I'm like, yeah, I
Oh,
know
yeah?
who you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. A lot of these are from people that are. Yeah, I really like you guys. You have very sweet things to say. Oh, she said, "Hi, what's your favorite project so far at the apartment? And what's your most challenging project? Favorite meal to make or make?
Favorite meal to eat, or
To eat or make. What's your favorite project so far at the apartment? You said the lights in the
Yeah,
cabinets.
what's
For
yours?
me, I feel like that's loaded. To do was probably like the peel and stick. That was because that was a quick, satisfying type situation. Or maybe this wall. I really liked how this came out. But I would say for practical purposes, my favorite was getting the new couch. I would say this living room area because I felt like that was the part of the home that was the least functional, in my opinion, when I first showed up. Most challenging project,
I
the
know.
bookcases.
The bookcase.
The bookcase,
The
yeah.
bookcase, hands down, the bookcase.
That's been really hard.
Yeah, there's a reason we haven't just started stage 2 of it, because stage 1 was so much work. So much work. It took so long.
It did. That was like some serious overtime.
Yeah, there were a lot of late nights.
Yeah.
It was like 2 months of crunch time.
Yeah. That being said, it is not done yet. So we still have a lot to do with that, but that has been the most challenging. But I'd say also the most rewarding.
Yeah.
Favorite meal to make? I love making this Greek chicken soup. It is my favorite. Big fan of soups for some reason. It's really easy to make, and I think it's delicious. So I love to eat it and make it. What about yourself?
Honestly, I'm pretty simple. Something it's like grilled chicken or grilled turkey or.
Madzabinga. That's cute. Madzabinga. 8382. Are you going to sell the flat after it's all refinished? We don't know. We were going back and forth on that.
Yeah.
Were either of you married before?
Yes.
Not that I recall.
No.
Neither of us have been married.
No.
In addition to us not being married, I don't have kids that I know of. Two. Lisa, I love this question. I want to know what yours and Tim's most embarrassing moment. Doesn't have to be with each other. The reason I want to know, besides the fact that it will be hilarious, is that it is bonding when you're vulnerable. I can tell you mine. I ran through the airport with my boob hanging out. Not on purpose. I wish I could tell you the entire story. I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love that. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go?
Most embarrassing story? There was one time that I was in the hospital and I got so constipated that I had to have drastic measures taken, and I pooped so intensely that I fell onto the floor and just lied there until a nurse came to find me.
Well, wasn't it that like okay, so it wasn't like background, they gave you medicine that basically deposited a bunch of iron,
Yeah.
the metal.
It sucked the iron out of my blood.
Yeah, and into your intestines, and so you were constipated for how many weeks?
Oh, weeks. It was pretty much a month. I
background here.
didn't go to the bathroom for like a month. And then
They tried everything. They shoved
did.
tubes up his ass. And
They
like,
really did everything. But it was a religious experience, and not in a good way. Until a nurse came into the room to find me, and I was just sitting there like just ass out. Just like, oh, I couldn't move.
That's fair.
Couldn't move.
That's fair. All right, my embarrassing moment. Listen, this
Yeah.
is not the most dignified story. It was laundry day. So I did not have any clean underwear for some reason. And I was like digging through my drawer, and I managed to find a pair of underwear. And it was like underwear from it was like childhood underwear, like my own. It was like the multi-pack from Target. And it was this like puce, bright yellow, vomit green color with like a purple band. And so like the ass was sagging so low from being stretched out over the years, it just did not fit. And to add insult to injury here, it was period stained real bad. Because when you're like trying to figure it out, you haven't figured it out yet. This is from that was in middle school. So anyways, I pull out this very questionable looking pair of underwear, and I was like, F it. And I wore that, yeah, and then I stole a dress out of my sister's closet. That's what I get for stealing her shit. I don't feel like I'm telling this very well, but I went to a very large school. Being from Southern California, the schools are very, very large. It was public school. I had there was over 2,000 kids. And at lunchtime, everyone's in the quad. There's, a ton of people. And then when the bell rings, everyone comes pouring down the hallway, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids. And I went to the bathroom, and as I walked out, the bell rang. And so I walked out, and I made it down this really long corridor. Just walking. Hundreds of my peers behind me, all the same age, all of that stuff. And I almost made it into my classroom before a girl ran up to me, horrified, and ripped my dress out from my underwear. It was completely, I don't know how I didn't notice this. The entire back half of the dress was tucked into my period-stained, up puce, vomit-colored underwear, and all of my peers, including my crush at the time, saw that. Good times.
Good time.
Good times. I'm so glad that part of my life is
middle school.
long over. Well, that was high school, but...
You thought you were in middle school.
No, the underwear.
You did that in high school?
I said I was a junior in high school. It was middle school underwear.
Oh, it was middle school underwear.
No, it was 4th, 5th grade underwear that got stained in middle school that I wore in high school that one time. The last and final overhanging question is how we met. It's kind of two different perspectives, actually. When I moved here, I told you before that I got a dog. And Reggie was great, except 2 weeks into having him, he totally lashed out at a basset hound. And I was like, oh shit. I have a dog that is terrible with other dogs. I had this fear because he was acting so badly with other dogs, straight up trying to attack them. And I was like, oh my God, Reggie's never going to be able to be around other dogs. I didn't know how to handle it. I was panicking. And I realized, I was like, I need to socialize Reggie. And the only way that I knew how to do it, because I didn't have friends with dogs at that point in time. I had been here 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. So I just did a quick Google search, and I looked up dog parks in the area, and there happened to be one that was down the street from me. I was like, amazing, I will take him there. I ordered him a muzzle and a long leash. I was kind of now working really late bartending shifts, and so I'd get home super late, and I'd wake up at noon, 1 p.m. the next day. And then sort of once I had like kind of come to being awake and sort of stumbled out of the house at 4 p.m. Andrea and I, my adult supervision and she's my childhood best friend. We lived together at the time, and I legitimately stumbled out of the house. I put on like whatever coat I could find in the closet. It was January, so it was cold. I had like mismatched socks, like 2 socks pulled up. I grabbed like duck boots, and I had 2 different pairs of pajamas that weren't matching. So like it was like Winnie the Pooh bottoms and like a SpongeBob tops type situation with like a big coat and like glasses, and like hair was like genuinely looked like garbage. I also had a spray bottle, because every time he'd rage out at a dog, I was like, no, and I'd like spray him in the face. It looked ridiculous. It looked completely insane. And I walked into the dog park super overwhelmed with this tiny dog that looked ridiculous because he looked like Bane with this muzzle. And I remember directly looking right at Andrea. Right as I had my hand on the gate, I looked at her and I said, we are not here to make friends. And she was like, okay, damn. I'm stressed with this dog. I am not here to like try and make, to socialize right now. I'm just focusing on trying to get Reggie to socialize, and I'm overwhelmed and all of this stuff. Every day I would bring Reggie to the dog park, same time, stumbling out of bed, same situation, like Groundhog Day on repeat for a couple weeks. And then eventually time went on and the leash got longer and longer and longer and longer. And then one day I was talking to this guy, and he was like, he had been asking me, he was like, is today the day? Like, is the muzzle gonna come off? And I was like, I don't know. And, finally it did. Reggie was like, the second it came off, he was like, and he was sort of coy walking. And then the first thing he does is then he like turns his head and he beelines to this dog and just rages out at him. He's like barking in his face, and then he stops. Because like Reggie doesn't, I came to find out that Reggie doesn't actually attack other dogs. He just seems like he is. He like runs up to them.
He has fear aggression.
Yeah. So he runs up to them, he screams, and then he f***s off.
And then,
So he ran up to this dog, screamed at him, and then like the dog didn't do anything, and then Reggie was like, that's weird. So then he just kept following the dog around, walking. I was sort of following Reggie, just trying to make sure he didn't do anything stupid. There's only so long that you can stand there next to a person before you have to introduce yourself. And so it was kind of awkward. And I stood there and I looked at the dogs, and then I looked up at the guy and I said, this your dog? And he goes, yeah. And I looked down and looked at the dogs and looked at me, and he goes, this your dog? I went, yeah. And that was Tim.
No.
Tim was the other guy.
We met at the dog park because of our dogs.
Yep. We met at the dog park because Reggie attacked Kirby.
We met at the dog park.
For some reason, he latched on to Kirby.
Yep.
Well, okay, so now they know my perspective. I went to the dog park. I wasn't looking for friends.
Yeah.
What is,
mine is, I'm a software engineer. I pretty much spend all my days behind a desk, and especially I was a lot more work from home at that point in time, so I wasn't really getting out much. And so Kirby had finally gotten bored with all of our normal walks around the neighborhood. Where can I take him to go socialize? So like I just Googled dog parks, and that was the first dog park that came up. And so we started going to the dog park. And when you're there for that long, you meet everybody there, because you're the one with the super fluffy, happy corgi that has to go around and meet everybody. I wasn't dating anybody, and so all the dog park people start to be like, oh, well, we should set you up with somebody. And so like everybody was trying to set me up with somebody. None of it really happened, and I wasn't really desperate, but I was like, everybody, it was the topic of conversation most of the time we went to the dog park, was trying to set me up with somebody. And so one time this girl showed up with her little white cotton ball rigged manic dog, wearing mismatched pajamas, a trench coat, rain boots, and a spray bottle. And I thought to myself, maybe that's the one. I legitimately had that thought. That's not me making it up. It was on my mind, and I saw Rose in all of her...
In all my glory.
In all of her glory. And legitimately had the thought of, I wonder if that's the one. Anyway, that's how we met.
Yeah.
We met at the dog park.
Yeah.
Because of our dog.
Also, kind of important to note, we didn't immediately start dating.
No, we knew each other for about 9 months. We met in January.
Yeah, we met in January. We didn't start dating until November. And the reason why was because, like you said, Reggie and Kirby were following each other around, so we ended up becoming really good friends. And then Tim asked me out, and I was like, no.
You really want to tell that story? Yes. I asked her out, and she said no.
Yeah, it's true. But you know what? It's because I had said I was really, really not looking for a relationship. I was really commitment phobic. Like, I just did not want anything. I was like, no. And then I told him that, and Tim was like, okay. And he was okay with it, which was, I don't know why that was surprising to me. Like, it's just, I mean, for all of you fellow women that are watching this out there, probably can relate to, have had some point in time where they rejected a man and then they didn't handle it well. And then, I mean, it's a tale as old as time. As sad as it is. But Tim was just like, all right. But, you know, we still stayed friends. I was like, still not looking for a relationship. But I did like the fact that you respected my boundaries. And then eventually time went on. And Tim was actually supposed to move to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
That January. I realized that I loved him. And so one day I ended up texting him like 3 a.m. I was like, I can't handle it. And I like texted him, you know, I know you had asked me out before and I said no. So I thought it was only fitting that then I was the one to extend sort of a hand.
Yeah.
And then we had our first date at your place.
Yes. And you were wearing pajamas.
He cooked us dinner and then he cooked the dogs a meal and then we watched A Bug's Life, the Pixar movie.
Mm-hmm.
And our second date, we went to Medieval Times. And so, fun fact, every year on our anniversary, we go to Medieval Times. Anyways, thank you to everyone that asked us questions. I can't thank you enough. I'm still, I think, every day surprised that so many of you come onto my channel to watch me struggle to get through these projects. So I'm very, very grateful for the fact that you guys are supportive of me being me. Mm-hmm. Thanks to all of you guys.